Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Everyday EDC. Today I have a battle for you guys. So I haven't done a battle in a while and I enjoy these. I think these are fun, and only when I don't want to force a battle between two knives. I want them to speak to me and say, you know, we need to be battled because they're very, very comparable, right? So these two, we have your Civivi Elementum in S35VN and your Kizer Gemini, the Vanguard series in Bowler N690. So your Civivi Elementum right here and your Kizer Gemini. I've already done reviews of both of these. The Elementum was done a long time ago, and I don't intend to just re-review it just because of the S35VN steel that they chose to use, although that is a great addition and just a really good upgrade for the price. I mean, you're getting a great value for that alone. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about these two knives and which one would I choose based on my criteria, right? So, first and foremost, I grade these on 7 factors that were taken across several different people's battles and comparison videos because they seem to be probably the best topics to choose, right? So I go for looks, carry factor, ergonomics, blade, fit and finish, fidget factor, and value. We just go through those, and if there's a tie at the end, the one who wins the value, because the best value is realistically probably the one that you should be looking at to buy in the first place. First of all, looks. This one's kind of it's really subjective actually. I actually really like the way the Kizer looks. I looked at it and I couldn't believe that I rated it in the other way. There's a reason that I rated it for the Civivi Elementum. It is the lines. This straight line, this straightforward blade shape. While this does serve a purpose, it takes a knife person to look at it and say, I know what the purpose of that large, tall blade is. It's a full flat grind that's going to be really slicey, and it's going to slice better than this one with a hollow grind in theory, right? That's why I see that in the looks, and so you look past it. But if I'm looking at it just from a looks perspective, I do believe that the Elementum takes it down in looks. Again, subjective value. Most of these don't really get a lot more objective as we go along. So the Civivi Elementum is going to win 1 for looks. Carry factor. Now, if we can just take a look here, and zoop. As you can see, the carry factor is also going to go to the Elementum, not only because it's a deep carry pocket clip. Neither one of these are ambidextrous. But, I mean, even the thickness, let's see. The thickness is just about the same, but the Kizer is slightly thicker. Not only is it thicker, it is also taller. So it's not going to carry as well in your pocket, and that pocket clip's kind of dumb for everything else that's going on. That pocket clip's and it's not deep carry. Your Civivi Elementum is also going to take down the carry factor. So as I started this battle, and I'm going through my notes, and I was writing down the notes as I'm comparing the two, it's interesting because I personally like the Kizer better. I mean, there's a lot more to like about it, but I started getting into it, and I'm like, oh crap, the Elementum's going to take it down again. Shit. You know, like, it's just, the Elementum has won so many that it's almost getting stupid to this point. Or it's come in second of 3 or something of that nature. But this is where the game changes a little bit. Ergonomics. So the ergonomics on the Elementum are all right. I can get my little finger it's not barely on there. It's on there pretty good, but it's just okay. Now there's a choke up position, which does work, but it's goofy. It's not like your normal style choke up. Like, you can still slide up the blade. You're not protected. You have to pull back. It's not uncomfortable. It's not as comfortable as regular finger choil, but the Kizer from Ray Laconico in hand feels oh so good. This thing in hand feels much better because it's wider, because it's slightly thicker, and it has a little bit more contour to it rather than these straight lines. So with the straight lines, you're gaining a lot of carry factor, but for ergonomics in hand, this thing feels really good. Now, if you were to really speak to ergonomics, the Kizer Gemini version in titanium has contoured titanium handles. Now, that thing just melts like butter in your hand. So the Gemini definitely takes down the ergonomics here. Next, we have blade. So this one's kind of difficult because we're comparing Bowler N690 to S35VN. Now, clearly, S35VN is a better blade steel. So you would say, okay, it goes to the Elementum. I'm going to put the brakes on a little bit, and here's why. This full flat grind that Ray Laconico is so... Every one of his designs typically has this. This thing is so damn slicey that I just enjoy cutting with this more. This thing's good for like a... You know, you make a cut and get it out. I can imagine like cutting food and apples and stuff with this guy way before I could with the Elementum. And it's not that the Elementum would be bad at it, but if I'm comparing the two, I see myself wanting to use that blade more. Bowler N690, if heat treated properly, isn't anything to slouch at. I mean, they've used it back in the day, especially on knives that were like super high end. You're like, what? And yes, I know some of you are going to be like, that only happened on like one or two. Well, it still freaking happened. I know S35, it gets used on higher end stuff too. I'm just comparing Bowler N690 to say it's not that bad. And I don't remember what Bowler N690 compares with. I want to say it's higher than a VG10. Maybe a 154 CM. I would have to double check on that. Don't quote me on that stuff. But it's not a bad steel. I can tell you that. I just don't remember the specific on it. So the blade is also going to go to the Kizer. I just absolutely love that blade. Now there's nothing wrong with this. This hollow grind creates a really thin behind the edge style, but the full flat grind overtakes the thin edge all day, every day for me. Next, we have fit and finish. This one's unique because Civivi's fit and finish is always flawless. I wish they would recess this pocket clip. For God's sakes, recess this pocket clip. I'm so irritated seeing all these Civivis with the slapped-on pocket clip. But, I mean, you could get worse, right? It could be worse. Now, everything else on this is used. That's why I have oil and stuff on it. Everything else on this, the fit and finish is actually really good. So while I fault Civivi for not doing a good pocket clip, their pocket clip's at least good. This pocket clip is just blah. But that doesn't make it a fit and finish issue. That just makes it a poor choice of pocket clips. And maybe that's the right pocket clip for like the ergonomics, like because I don't feel the pocket clip at all. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that pocket clip. But I really can't fault either or for fit and finish. I think they're both fantastic. Let's see how they've held up over time. So this is perfectly centered. This is the Kizer Gemini. No back and forth. No up and down. Lock up right at about 30%. Maybe a little bit more. The Civivi. No back and forth. No up and down. The centering. Dead center. And the lockup's right at about the same. So both of these knives have been used. I think I've used the Kizer a little bit more. And there has yet to be a problem with fit and finish. So the long story short here is the fit and finish is going to get a tie. And actually, I think I talked about this in the past. I kind of want to change that subject of fit and finish to something else. Something else a little bit more meaningful, because nowadays, the knives that I'm going to compare against each other, they've already spoke to me. And typically it's not, they're both bad, so let's compare the two. So I really don't think I'm going to find a fit and finish where one wins over the other unless I'm trying to make it win. Like, well, this Kizer has micarta and the inside's milled out and, you know, it has these anodized things right here. You know, that's a little bit better than, well, no, I mean, that's just me making an excuse. So, no, these are tied. So as it stands right now, the looks and the carry factor go to the Civivi Elementum. The ergonomics and the blade are going to the Kizer Gemini in Vanguard series. The fit and finish is a wash. The fidget factor. So this is unique too. So Civivi, I mean, pretty darn good. That was actually me trying to fail it. I can't fail it though. The Kizer, I can fail them both. But there's something satisfying about the Kizer over the Elementum. This is where a little bit more subjective view comes in. I enjoy flipping this more, and it's because of this. The sound that it makes. there's something about the sound and just the resignation of it, or the resignation? No. The resonance? Maybe that's what it is, the resonance. There we go. So there's nothing against the Civivi here. I mean, both actions are great. I just prefer to fidget with the Kizer. So it's 3-2 for the Kizer. The value. Now, the Kizer's coming in at $80. No, shoot. The Elementum's coming in at $80, which is also hard to get a hold of. The Kizer's coming in at $75. It's not so hard to get a hold of. And the main difference here is S35VN. But we're getting micarta, anodized stuff. I mean, I don't see Bowler N690 that much lesser of S35VN. I know it's only $5, but you're getting a little bit more. And on top of it all, this is a Ray Laconico design, so some of that money's got to go back to Ray for his design. Now, you could say that's not your problem all day, but the reality is that does play a part, that somebody designed this knife rather than just like an in-house designer trying to pump out knives. They got real lucky with this Elementum. The Elementum took off like a shitstorm. What I'm saying is this is $5 less for $5 more. If you're lucky, you can get the S35VN, which I don't think is available right now. But you can always get this for $75. Point being, I think the values are a wash. I think you're getting just as good a value from either or. You're not getting a garbage steel on either side. They're both relatively corrosion resistant. They're going to hold their edge for quite some time. And, you know, their toughnesses are actually almost comparable. The Bowler N690 might be a little bit tougher. I'm not sure. That's just a filler statement. I don't know why I said that, because I don't remember the chemistry of Bowler N690. But, long story short, I'm going to rate their values at even. They're only $5 apart. And you're getting a lot of different things from a lot of... If this wasn't a Ray Laconico design, if this was just a Kizer design, that to me means something, right? So that adds value, whereas the S35VN adds value. And they kind of balance out, in my opinion. So, the long story short is, it's a 3-2 win for the Kizer Gemini. Now, if you feel free to disagree with me on especially the subjective views, the looks, the fidget factor, you know, you can feel free to disagree on those. The others, I mean, you could disagree, but I tried to be as objective as possible with those. But if you wash out the looks and the fidget factor, it would still be a 2-1 win for the Kizer Gemini. I thoroughly love this knife. I think the Kizer Gemini is a diamond in the rough, and dare I say, for $75, one of the best knives that you can get in today's market. I think that this still holds to that. I mean, it's so damn freaking slicey. The action is good. It feels great in your hand. Yes, the Elementum is another one that is one of the best knives for the price, especially if you can get this S35VN model. But that's why I'm comparing the two. I saw these two as some of the best knives for the price, and the Kizer Gemini is overall the winner between these two. Doesn't mean it's the best knife for the price, but it's, in my opinion, some of the best that I've held for the price. That is it. This is your winner, crowned victorious. Cheers from the heavens. The Kizer Gemini Vanguard Series Bowler N690 and micarta. Thank you, Ray Laconico, for bringing this design. You guys, hope you enjoyed it. You guys stay sharp, stay safe. Have a great freaking day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hey guys, listed as my Patreon, my Instagram, and a special shout out to all the Patrons: John, Sammy, Eggs and Ham, Jason M, Dogtooth, Kaiba, Mickey, Wolf, and Captain Steve. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great freaking